A high school English teacher in Missouri named Brianna Coppage was placed on leave earlier this month and quickly resigned from her position after, as the media reports put it, she was outed as a performer on OnlyFans. And of course, the word outed is doing a lot of work here, so is the word performer. She is a prostitute, not a performer, and she outed herself when she decided to engage in this behavior on the internet where anyone in the world can see it for a small subscription fee.
Based.
I must again remind everyone that you have not been outed when people simply notice what you yourself have decided to post on the internet. As soon as something is on the internet, it is out. It is as out as a thing can possibly be. The outing occurred the moment it was posted, and if it was posted by you, then you, again, outed yourself.
You're out.
I'm not.
You're out.
I'm not.
3 strikes, you're out.
That's not how Brianna Coppage sees it, though. She has defended herself to the local media. Here's what she said.
A former teacher in the metro speaks only to locally to 4 about being outed for bearing it all.
When that Franklin County woman's OnlyFans page was found, she was pulled from the classroom.
Then Brianna Coppage voluntarily resigned, and tonight only our Shoshana Stahl has the first interview with the teacher turned entrepreneurial porn star.
It's just like those connections that I'm going to miss.
Brianna Coppage started teaching 5 years ago.
Being there for students, like celebrating milestones with them.
For the last 2 years and until resigning earlier this month, she was at St. Clair High School as an English teacher. And one reason for her departure, to make more money. She started an OnlyFans page, a site that's growing popular across many generations. On OnlyFans, some offer premium content to build connections with subscribers, such as inspirational speeches, photos, and even adult content.
Okay, time out for a second. Why are we playing dumb about OnlyFans here? What are you trying to achieve? The local CBS affiliate is pretending, for some reason, that people go to OnlyFans for inspirational speeches.
2,000 pull-ups, 4,000 push-ups, and that road to success is a bumpy-ass road.
Maybe that's the excuse the reporter's husband gave her when she found out about his subscription to the site. No, honey, it's not what it looks like. I'm just subscribed for the inspirational speeches. It's kind of the new generation's version of I only read Playboy for the articles. And that could be where this is coming from. Or maybe they're just randomly lying about OnlyFans because the media reflexively lies about everything and can't help itself at this point. In any case, here's what Brianna has to say for herself. Listen.
Missouri is one of the lowest states in the nation for teacher pay. And then the district I was working for is also one of the lowest paying districts in the state.
Coppage says her yearly teaching salary was $42,000. When she started OnlyFans, she avoided showing her face because of her job as a teacher.
And a lot of people asking, why didn't you just get like a part-time job somewhere? But teachers also take all of their work home. Like, we don't get to stop working when we leave the school day. We don't get to grade all 130 students' papers during the day. It's just not possible when you're teaching. So we take that work home with us on the evenings, on the weekends. So getting a second job is just really not possible.
The St. Clair School District said in a statement it was notified of the posts by an individual not affiliated with the school.
Our handbook policies are very vague, and they just say something about, like, represent yourself well. Did I violate that? I feel like that's a matter of opinion.
Yes, ma'am, you did violate that. It's actually not vague at all. I suppose there could be some gray area in the represent yourself well category, but when you start selling your body on the internet, you have definitely crossed over the line. Not just crossed it, but you've trampled it into dust. Becoming an OnlyFans prostitute is the very definition of not representing yourself well. If the district needs to clarify that section of the handbook, then they should do it by adding a picture of Brianna Coppage, a fully clothed picture, just to be clear. Brianna defends her decision to become, as the news anchor puts it, an entrepreneurial porn star by saying that, well, she makes a lot of money doing it, which I'm sure she does. But the problem is that I make a lot of money doing this is the worst possible moral justification for anything. Okay, many of the bad things people do, they do because they make money doing it. But we don't accept that as an excuse. If someone says, accuses you of engaging in objectionable and immoral behavior, and you respond, but I make a lot of money doing it, they generally aren't going to say, oh, okay, well, never mind then. I mean, obviously, it's totally acceptable in that case. I just want to make sure that you weren't behaving in a disgusting and shameful way for free. But as long as you're making money, then never mind. Carry on. That's not how the conversation goes. And that's because we know you're doing it for money and attention and validation, but that doesn't make it better. Now, if this story sounds familiar, it's because a version of this story plays out seemingly like once a week now. Before Brianna Coppage, it was a woman named Annie Knight who made some headlines after getting fired from her corporate marketing job after starting an OnlyFans page. Before her, it was Kristen McDonald, who's the special needs teaching assistant who was fired after her OnlyFans activities were discovered. And it's not just teachers and employees in the corporate world getting fired for this. A while ago, a female mechanic at a Honda dealership in Indiana was also fired from her job when she began dabbling in the entrepreneurial porn business. And so this sort of thing happens frequently. And for the most part, these women, when they're fired, are treated as martyrs by the media. But they are not martyrs. It goes without saying, or should go without saying, that all of these women deserve to be fired. Your employer is concerned not just with your behavior at work, but also with your behavior outside of work if it reflects poorly on them or causes difficulties in the workplace. Your employer has a right to take those kinds of things into consideration, which means that if you become a prostitute in your free time, you should absolutely lose your job. Most people don't want to work with or around prostitutes, and your employer doesn't want to employ prostitutes. It's disgraceful and dirty and disgusting and embarrassing. This is obviously especially the case if you're a teacher, but it applies no matter your occupation. And yes, as established, OnlyFans is prostitution. As I've been arguing for years, all pornography is prostitution. To be a prostitute is to sell your body for money. And that's what everyone in the porn industry is doing. It's what everyone on OnlyFans is doing. It's what a hooker on the street corner is doing. There is no moral difference or even any significant practical difference between any of these categories. But with OnlyFans, as opposed to what I guess we must call traditional internet porn, this equivalency is the most obvious. That OnlyFans is like the most direct parallel with being a hooker on a street corner, which is also why OnlyFans should obviously be banned. Now, I think all pornography should be banned, but if we have to go about this incrementally, then OnlyFans is a very good place to start. But the tragedy is that nearly all of these OnlyFans prostitutes would not be prostitutes if OnlyFans didn't exist. These, like soccer moms and English teachers and corporate professionals, they wouldn't ever even consider going out to the street corner to turn tricks, nor would they go looking for a gig at the strip club down the street. What they're doing on the site is morally and substantively and should be considered legally the same because there's no real distinction. But the presence of the screen, the fact that it's all done in cyberspace, makes it feel different. It allows prostitutes to feel like they are not prostitutes. And that's why they're invariably shocked when they end up getting fired from their respectable jobs. I don't think that shock is like a put on. They aren't pretending to be surprised. They really bought into the lie of OnlyFans and of the internet pornography business as a whole and believed that because they were doing this on the internet, it somehow didn't count in the real world. OnlyFans makes a life of prostitution accessible for people who would never consider it otherwise. OnlyFans makes that possible in a unique way, which is why it should not be allowed to exist. It is a universal negative. It hurts everybody involved in it. It harms society. It can only cause harm. There is no counterbalancing good being done by it. Prostitution is already illegal in 49 out of 50 states. The question is whether there should be this carve-out, this special privilege granted to internet prostitution. But why should there be? Why is there? In fact, internet prostitution has a more deleterious effect because of its accessibility and its ubiquity. Because it's the one kind of prostitution that a bored soccer mom would actually engage in. So if we're only banning one type of prostitution, the in-person or internet variety, obviously it should be the latter. But instead we ban the former, and the latter is legal and virtually unregulated. It makes no sense. OnlyFans, in conclusion, is a cancer. It should be banned, and it certainly, today, is canceled.